Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about Three Jokers issue number 2. So spoiler alert, if you have not read the first issue or this issue, we're going to be getting into spoilers completely. So I just want to talk about this issue. It's another really good issue. If you're not reading Three Jokers, you really should be. It's really interesting and I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth it. I think it's like $7 per issue. It's definitely worth it. It's really good. But without further ado, let's get into it. So this issue opens up with the comedian because, there's three different Jokers. There's the comedian, the clown, and the criminal. And the clown got his brains blown out by Jason Todd in the first issue. So this one opens up with the comedian daydreaming. It's sort of like what the Joker's life would be like if his wife and child stayed alive after the Killing Joke. So he's been Jokerified still and still crazy, but he has a wife and kid. So there's a little sort of daydream sequence that's really interesting, and then he snaps out of it and we see that he was daydreaming, because at first it's like you're thinking, did Joker like kidnap some woman and her child and is like playing pretend right now? It's a little confusing, and then you see that it's a daydream. But that's where the issue opens up, and then we move to where we saw last issue, where Jim Gordon was like, hey, we got the third Joker cornered in this like apartment building. We think he's here, and then Batman goes and disappears to go help them. Well, we see here that it actually wasn't the third Joker. They get there and it's just like some dogs that have been Jokerized and a dead body. The dead body is of this judge that was partially responsible for like the revolving door at Arkham. He's a judge that would just constantly send people to Arkham even though they shouldn't have gone there, because Arkham was very loose and easy to get out of. It's kind of dumb because, why would you have this same judge doing all these different cases? But whatever, it's Gotham. Gotham's very corrupt. So that guy's dead. Batman does some investigative work and figures out that the guy actually didn't die due to the Jokerized dogs, because that's what they think at first, but someone actually, I believe, strangled him is what they said, but someone else killed him, and they see that the fingerprints of the person that strangled him belong to Joe Chill. So Batman and Batgirl decide to go to pay a visit to Joe Chill, and he's at Blackgate. But on their way, Barbara tells Bruce about how Jason killed the Clown Joker, because Batman had left at the end of last issue before the Clown Joker died. So he didn't know that Jason had killed him, and he just finds this out, and he's a little confused about it. He's kind of conflicted about it, but Barbara's straight up like, Jason is evil. He killed this guy. Even though he's the Joker, he was tied up, shouldn't have done that. And from a reader's perspective, it's hard for me to sort of see Barbara's point of view, because I'm like, this is the Joker, a guy that has murdered so many people, and I understand he shouldn't have killed him in that instance because he was, sitting down, like tied up. So I kind of get that, but at the same time, it's like, it's not like Jason killed an innocent person or like a bank robber or something. He killed the Joker. So it's hard for me to see Barbara's point of view on this. When Barbara's like really upset about it, I'm like, come on, it's the Joker. Like, I get it, they're heroes, are not supposed to do that and all that, but at the same time, like, I can understand being a little upset, but being to the point where like she's kind of getting to this point of like Jason should be behind bars and all this other stuff, I was like, I don't know about that. Like, he just killed the Joker, he didn't kill like some innocent person. He killed someone that has taken way more lives, and Jason ended up saving way more lives by doing that. So at that part, I was kind of like, Babs, I'm definitely not on your side here. But anyways, Babs and Bruce get to Blackgate. We see Bruce go up to his cell, and he's getting ready to talk to Joe Chill, and he's like, Joe Chill, you know what you did. Joe Chill, you know what you did. Like, it's a great moment. We see that he sort of like does that like soft speak at first. Like, when you first speak after not having talked for a bit, and you kind of like your voice is a little weird, and then you like, and then you like get your full voice. That's what Batman has a moment, because he's nervous there about talking to the man that murdered his parents, even though it was so long ago, and he is now Batman and no longer that little kid in an alleyway. It was a really great moment, because you see that Joe Chill kind of still makes him feel like that kid in an alleyway. So I really like that moment. It was great. But he goes into the cell and he sees that Joe Chill's not there. Barbara comes to him and is like, hey, Joe Chill got taken from his cell to intensive care because he has like stage 4 cancer. So he's on death's door right now. Switch back to Jason. We see that Jason is over at just in an alley beating up Joker thugs, trying to figure out what's going on. He like scans these Joker thugs and sees that there's like chlorine on them or whatever, so he figures out that they're at some pool. So he goes to the Gotham YMCA. He gets there. There's a bunch of just like naked people in Joker toxin. One of them comes out after Jason, and Jason pulls out his gun and does not hesitate to try to shoot them, but then his gun clicks. I'm a little confused what the click is trying to say here. Is it saying he's out of ammo? Because if so, how dumb would Jason be to pull his gun out of ammo and try to shoot it? Or is it saying like he was switching his safety off and that's what he's doing? Although, Red Hood doesn't use a safety. I doubt that. I'm just confused. Like, it's really weird to me that Jason would like have his safety. I mean, not safety, that Jason would be out of ammo. It's just weird to me that Jason would, maybe they're trying to say he's so out of sorts after killing that Joker and everything that he's been through so far that he didn't even think about the fact that he was out of ammo. It's just kind of weird, because I get what they're implying with him just like not even hesitating to shoot this Joker because he's like so on edge, but him being out of ammo, I don't know. I feel like Jason would be a bit smarter than that. Like going into this place where he know the Joker was, you think he would have his gun full of ammo. So that part was a little weird. But anyways, right after this moment, Joker kidnaps Jason. He takes him, he ties him up, and the two Jokers are there talking to Jason while he's naked, and then they put the Red Hood mask on him and they start beating him with a crowbar, you know, kind of doing exactly what they did before. It's really sucks for Jason because, you know, what are the chances that the Joker beats you to near death twice with a crowbar? It's like getting struck by lightning twice. So kind of feel for Jason here. This really sucks. He definitely never thought this would happen again, and now it's happening again, so that's gotta suck. But they're talking to Jason the whole time that they're beating him. They're telling him how they thought it would be kind of poetic for him to become the next Joker, because again, remember, this book is about these Jokers trying to find the next Joker, the next evolution of Joker. Joker has evolved like 3 times so far. You got the original criminal, and then I believe the clown was next, and then the comedian, I think, was the newest iteration. So they're like trying to create the 4th Joker. They're like, who's going to be the next guy? And so they were thinking, you know, Jason might be good. It'd be a little poetic because, you know, he was Robin and then he became Red Hood, just like Joker did, and then he became Joker. You know, it'd be kind of poetic in that way. So they're like, that could be interesting. And then they're like, actually, it's not in the cards, and you're not really smart enough to be the next Joker. So sorry. And then they just beat him near death and leave him there in a pool of his own blood. Barbara and Bruce show up and they comfort him. They then take Jason to Barbara's apartment. And while there, Bruce and Babs have a bit of a spat. Babs is like, hey, you should stay here with Jason. He needs you. And Bruce is like, nah, Jason's safe. I need to make sure the rest of Gotham is safe. And I kind of see both sides here. I see what Barbara's saying because, you know, the first time that Bruce showed up to Jason when he was beaten to near death with a crowbar, he was too late. And this time he was, you know, he's there in time and he could actually spend some time with him afterwards and help him recover, but instead he's going to go stop Joker. But I see that side as well because it's like, you know, as much as it sucks, and this is definitely going to hurt Jason's mentally even more than previously. Well, actually, not as bad as previously, but it will add on to it. Jason is physically safe right now to where the people of Gotham are not, and Joker's out there, so I need to stop him. So I kind of I understand both points of view there. I thought that was a good moment where they sort of have a back and forth there. But anyways, Bruce ends up leaving to go after Joker to try to find him. Babs and Jason have a bit of a moment. They talk. Jason's, because they're in her apartment, he sees like all the stuff from her recovery from the Killing Joke, when she got shot in the spine and became disabled because of the Joker. He sees like her physical therapy books, like her calendars and stuff of what was going on during that time, and they have a talk about that and how she recovered and stuff, and then they kiss. So that's I'm not the biggest fan of it. I know a lot of people are definitely going to hate it. I haven't looked online to see what people thought of it, but I know like most people are very much Dick and Babs, and that's it. And I'm like that when it comes to the Bat family. I'm not the biggest fan of Dick or Babs being with anyone else that's in the Bat family, but I'm fine with them being with other people. Like, for instance, in my opinion, I like Dick and Starfire together better instead of Dick and Babs. And I don't care about Babs being with other people either. It's just within the Bat family, I think it's kind of weird. I don't like, because there have been stories of, you know, her with Dick, of her with Bruce, and now her with Jason, and then also we have Arkham Knight of her with Tim. I just don't really like, you know, Babs being like tossed around the Bat family. Not the biggest fan of that. So granted, they didn't do anything other than kiss here, but still, it's like, it's not written badly. Like, the moment it does feel natural in the moment. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Jason and Babs having a thing for each other, and I'm assuming they'll expand on it later. But again, this is currently not in canon. It could very well become canon. We don't know. It's sort of like in this outer thing to where it's like, here's canon, here's not canon, and then here's 3 Jokers. It's kind of like just floating out there, just like, oh, we're not quite up here, but we're not down here either. We're just like, we could become canon, but we're not really canon yet. We're kind of like floating in the ether, deciding what we want to be. So yeah, who knows? But it was an interesting moment. Oh yeah, something that I forgot to mention. When Babs and Bruce show up to the pool, the infected Jokers that were in the pool, you know, all those people I was talking about, all the naked bodies that were in the Joker chemicals, they're still alive. They come up and they're all Jokerized, and Batman goes, oh no, more Jokers, and Babs goes, no, more victims, and then promptly kicks them in the face. It's a hilarious moment because you think Babs is like, oh, she sees that they're not, that they're not villains, they're victims. She's gonna help them. Nope, doesn't hesitate to just like roundhouse kick one in the face and just knock them straight out. Like, it was a funny moment because again, you think Babs is like, oh, she sees that they're victims, but just does the most Batman move ever of like, no more victims, and then bop, just knocks him straight out without hesitation, kicks him in the face. It was funny. But later on, we see that the two Jokers go and they kidnap Joe Chill. They break him out of Blackgate, and then they stick a camera in his face and they say, okay, Joe Chill, now confess what was the actual reason that you killed Thomas and Martha Wayne. And that's how the book ends. So this issue I thought was really good. Both these two issues have been really good. They were a lot more Jason heavy than I thought. Like, I thought the first issue was going to be Jason because on the variant cover he's on the front, and the second issue was going to be Barbara because she was on the front of the variant cover of the second one, and then the third one's going to be Batman. I thought that was how it was going to go. While this one did focus more on Babs than the first one, it still was very Jason heavy. I did not see that coming. I like the sort of relatability between Jason and Barbara when it came to their trauma with Joker, because that was never really explored much in Batman comics before. But you have these two people that were disciples of Batman essentially that went through very traumatic experiences because of the same guy. And so they never really had any type of moments like this before. So it's interesting having those two sort of connect over this and bond over this. I thought that was cool and a good idea by Geoff Johns. I like that. Again, it's very Jason heavy, which this book reminds me why I really like Jason Todd. Like, it's been great so far with that, because with the Scott Lobdell Red Hood stuff, it's been like, why do I read this character? Like, we haven't had anything good with Red Hood in a long time, because he's been written by no one but Scott Lobdell essentially for the past like decade or so. It's been rough. Since like 2011, it's been just Scott Lobdell writing him, and so every time I read Jason, it's just like, this character's gone down on hills so far. But in the hands of a great writer like Geoff Johns, you're like, oh yeah, he's a really cool and interesting character, and he's kind of the only member of the Bat family that's realistic in a lot of ways and sensible when it comes to certain things. So I really like that with Jason, and I like seeing that in this book and the way they've explored it, and the way that everyone feels in character. Like, Geoff Johns is always been great at that, and he continues it in this book. Everyone feels very much how they should, how Barbara's acting, how Jason's acting, how Bruce is acting. I really like that. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because we only have one more issue left. Like, that's it. Man, this came by and went fast. Like, we only have one more issue left, and then we're done with 3 Jokers. And I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder if we're going to get any reveals of the origins of these characters. I wonder who the third Joker is. Are they trying to do something with Joe Chill to make him the third Joker? I'm not sure. What's the angle they're trying to get at for why Joe Chill killed Bruce's parents? I really hope it would be dumb if it was like, oh, I killed Joe Chill's parents because you hired me, and it was like the criminal Joker, the original Joker that hired him. That'd be dumb. I don't want that. I don't want Joker to be that connected to Bruce's origin, like sort of like the Tim Burton Batman. I don't want that. I like Joker being someone that Batman incidentally created later on in his career. No, well, or at the beginning of his career. Not like when he was a child, the Joker created Batman. I don't like that. Please don't make it that. But we'll see. I'm really interested to see where this goes. This book has been great so far. If you've been reading it, please let me know in the comments below. What do you think of it so far? And yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all later.